What's up, viewers, subscribers, and agents alike? It's your boy Enlightened, Luciferian Prince, coming at y'all once again. Welcome. Thank y'all for coming back. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for constantly participating in the viewing of my shadow band channel. I've been dealing with for so many years and so long. It is what it is. Don't really matter. I'm going to keep on doing what I do. Hey, simple as that. Nothing's going to change. As I will say most of the time in the beginning of my videos, if you're watching this video around children, please remove them from your immediate vicinity, as my videos are not for children. The sole basis of this information is for educational purposes only. It does not constitute legal advice. Let's get that straight. If indeed you are in a legal situation, consult with an attorney. That's the best bet that you can actually deal with and work for yourself. And other than that, I'm not a lawyer. Simple as that. I'm just a guy who likes to read. Now, I want to touch on something that I was meaning to touch on for quite some time, and I haven't had an opportunity to do it, but I'm going to do it now because it makes a lot of sense for people who are dealing with this situation. And the title of this video is called Rescission. Your right to do so. Okay? You have the right to rescind, to revoke, to cancel, to reverse, or to abrogate any type of decision in which you made. Do not ever make any entity make you feel as if you cannot get out of any type of obligation. Now, in this video, I'm going to use a prime example that a lot of us have either faced or may have faced or have faced or may be facing right now. Wherever you are, it still applies to that instance. Okay? Stick with me. Now, in the respective corrective sense of where I'm getting ready to go to, this is about auto loans. Okay? Auto loans, to be honest with you, are not loans. Okay, people? They're not loans. Take my word for it. Why are they not loans? Because again, in most instances, if you do your research, banks cannot loan money. Now, when you deal with a financing contract, most of the time they'll turn around and say, but not prove, that a bank loaned you something. Banks cannot loan you anything as far as money is concerned. Banks cannot loan you anything. It's a proven fact. But you have to be the one to understand this in a legal context that you were never loaned anything. What you did was you didn't get a loan. You did what's called a credit transaction, right? You did what's called a credit transaction, a consumer credit transaction, pursuant to 15 United States Code, subsection 1602I. If you look that up, what is it? What does it say? Right? I know a lot of people be like, well, I took out a loan. No, you didn't. You participated in a credit consumer transaction, right? Hold on. 1602. In real time, right? Now, when you understand this, it's basically letting you know that you did a credit transaction, right? So when you sign for the loan, you have to understand that on the financing contract, there's a particular word that says consumer, right? Used with reference to a credit transaction, characterizes the transaction as one in which the party to whom credit is offered or extended is a natural person, and the money, property, or services which are the subject of the transaction are primarily for personal, family, or household purposes. It never said anything specifying about a loan. It said an extension of credit, but who extended the credit? You extended your own credit when you signed for it. Now, also to mention, the contract in and of itself was illegal because pursuant to United States Code 15 15 United States Code 1605, the finance charge with any consumer credit transaction shall be determined as sum of all charges, which were never disclosed to you or your organization in regards to the actual fundamentals of the contract. Within regards to all of this, you have the right to rescind, and not to mention in regards to a financing contract or statement that they say that you owe, it is your responsibility to send this documentation, which is basically your affidavit of truth and also your notice of rescission in regards to your respects to that contract. Now what you would do is actually forward these requisite laws to the dealership or to whomever you bought the car from, as a dealership, whatever the case, most cases it is, and you give them an opportunity to cure, right? You let them know the contract is nil. It's void because of all these points. You see what I'm saying? Upon receipt of rescission, you are not liable for any finance charge or other charge, and any security interest becomes void and effective immediately upon their receipt. Because if you look at the finance contract, they hold themselves as the creditor, and they also have a security interest of a certain percentage in the property. Once you send them this information, they must cease and desist all collection efforts because you voided the contract. You have the right to void because you have the right to rescind because it became material to your interest to void this contract. Now, will they push back? Of course they may, because no dealership likes to just take an L completely, although you have exposed them for misusing and illegally mistreating the contract as a fraudulent venture to enrich themselves at your expense, plus with interest. In and of itself, you give them at least 20 days of the notice, and then you tell them within that 20-day period, if you put any money down, if you put any cash down, or you put anything down of value, they're to return that to you because you gave them notice of rescission. Now, if indeed they do not wish to play according to the rules, as far as what you outline within your documentation and your paperwork, you have the right to now report them to the Federal Trade Commission for violation of these consumer laws, in which I just stated, in which you'll be actually, you'll be entitled to your recoupment of basically what you lost. And that's in less than 8 minutes. People, you have to understand that when it comes to contracts, every contract has the right to be altered, amended, or totally abolished. Never make someone make you feel as if you have to stick with the contract. A contract is nothing more than just a mutual agreement. If you wish to opt out of something, you wish to opt out on it. It's just that simple. If you wish to opt out on it, no one can hold you to a contract basically saying, hey, you have to. You can't cancel. You got me messed all the way up. And when it comes down to these finance contracts, these are what keeps people into a financial bind, because what they're not understanding is your signature is what paid for the actual vehicle via the nexus of the transmitting utility of using your social security number on the contract. See what I'm saying? Every application is used as a contract for consideration thereof. So a contract, as far as the application is concerned, is actually turned into a monetization. So the dealership does in-house financing, but they use a third party as an individual who says they finance you, but at the same token, that third party never provides you sufficient proof that they even financed you. It's just their word. It's just them saying that we did. Their name on the contract does not validate them financing you. See what I'm saying? It's just their name. They became a party to the contract because the dealership gave them your information, which actually does constitute identity theft. Because in order for you to owe the creditor, if you look at the financing contract, it says the creditor is the dealership. Who the fuck are these people? If the creditor is the dealership, then that means that the security interest in anything that I have to deal with has already been taken care of at the dealership. Who is this third party individual? See what I'm saying? And you have to make sure that you nip it in the bud and say, I don't know you. When they contact you and say, you owe us, I don't know you. When they try to prove the financing contract and say, you signed this, well, yes, with the dealership. I didn't sign anything with you. You see what I'm saying? Not to mention, they also breach contract because majority of the time, they don't even use arbitration. The moment you get up to that method of what they call default, they let you go at least about 90 to 60, 180 days on default and payment. They don't even go to arbitration. They come send a tow truck and come try to scoop your shit. But you have to cut them off before they even get to that point. and show and prove to them their breach of contract. And if you do have a repossession on your record or your history, what you need to do, even if you still have that repossession on your record, you can still use the same remedy. You see what I'm saying? You can still use the same remedy. Can you sue them? Yes, you can, because they abuse consumer laws under false pretenses, which is called misrepresentation. So if you want your remedy with rescission, there's a lot I would love to say, but time is of the essence in most instances, and I like to keep my videos short and sweet, but I also tell people schedule consultations with me. In regards to this, I myself, I am the legal owner of my vehicle still to this day. I ain't got to worry about nobody taking nothing from me. You see what I'm saying? But these are very effective remedies to basically keep you out of debt. And not only on your loss of property, but also a negative impact on your credit. With that being said, if you also understand that these are documentation that you send to them, these are also the same documentations that you would send to other bureaus in regards to resolution of the debt, and that they have to answer to those people in regards to that. Other than that, the CFPB will be the individuals to contact them and say, hey, y'all abusing consumer law. Because that's where you go to enforce the actual consumer laws with, to report these individuals for this misuse of your credit. And that's just as simple as that. It keeps your credit history up. It keeps your credit from dipping below a certain score. And it also keeps them from stealing your property, which you rightfully own. Although they do retain the title, it's null and void because they abuse consumer law practices. And that's real talk. That's real spill. And that's in less than 12 minutes. See what I'm saying? So just keeping it sweet, short, to the neat. You have the right to rescind a fraudulent contract once it becomes material to your interest to consider it. And now that I've given you certain laws that you can go by and guidelines and so forth and so on, this is what you do. You must execute. You send them this information, you send it to them notarized, you give them up to 20 days. You have to give them that 20 days. You have to give them that grace period to solve the issue. Before you file your complaint, you must give them that 20 days. Once after that 20 days elapses, you don't get a check, you don't get anything back, you don't get no response. Now you go to the CFBP, you file your complaint underneath the guise of a fraudulent loan situation. Because again, they didn't participate in a loan, they participated in a consumer credit transaction as defined by law. So, if indeed you would like to schedule a consultation with me about rescission in regards to this situation, if you've been going through it, have been going through it, or potentially facing it, make sure in the email you put rescission consultation. Subject line, keep it short, sweet, to the neat. Serious inquiries only, as I say within my videos. Time is of the essence, and at my time, I don't really spare too much. I like to use all my time constructively. So, if you'd like to schedule a consultation in regards to that, please do so, and do so at your own expediency. As I said before, these are the processes I've used. These are the processes I consider people using to stick to the law and not to just conjecture. And you'll keep yourself out of a lot of trouble, and trust me, you'll get them people off your back ASAP. You see what I'm saying? Because it's all fraud. It's fraudulent from its inception. See what I'm saying? And you have to be the one to enforce these policies. Other than that, if you don't, they're going to keep getting away with it time and time again. And your credit will be shot, and you'll be looking crazy with no remedy. You see what I'm saying? So again, contact me via email. I'll leave my email in the comment section and the video description. Without further ado, take that for what it's worth. See y'all on the other side. Peace, light, love. Aegis Man, fuck you. I'm out, y'all. Take care.